Well, hello everyone. This is Sherry Joy Collier, and I'm coming to you from my studio in East Tennessee, my little art studio tucked away near the Smoky Mountains. And I just am excited to bring a quick demonstration to you today of an example of a painting that a beginner can do. And this is in your art journal. So I have just a mixed media pad. It's called a mixed media pad. Let me show you. That's what this one looks like. There's other ones. This one happens to be acid-free, spiral-bound, heavyweight sheet. And this is the purpose of this painting is for fun, for therapeutic reasons, and also because I was recently at the beach in Pensacola, Florida, which is beautiful. And I just get so inspired at the beach. It makes me think about the vastness and the power of God, the creator who created the vastness of the ocean. So I'm going to do a quick painting, a very expressive, loose painting of kind of a beach scene with a sunset. And this is just for me. This is not for selling. This is not for gallery. This is more along the lines of what I would have done in my years as a therapist with people who came to my workshops. I specialize in expressive arts therapy, and the purpose for the art making is to express and to process feelings and emotions and things that we've been through, things that God is teaching us, things that help lift our spirits to think about the vastness of God and His beauty of creation. That's what this is all about today. So I'm starting out very simply. I have an old plate as my palette. I've selected some craft paints. I've got golden yellow and sunbeam for my sun. I've got flamingo coral for the part of the sunset. I've chosen two darker blues. This one's called 2 Blue. This one's called Deep Navy. We'll see how it goes. I may have to add white to lighten up one of them. I've chosen a Purple Iris by Apple Barrel in case I want to put any purple in my sky. But we're just going to go for it and see what happens. I do have some sand colors. This one's khaki. And this one is actually called Sand Dune by Ceramicoat. Then I did throw in a brown in case I want to add a little bit of brown into one of these to darken up the sand. But this is very loose and very quick. And the idea is I will probably go back and write some things on this page that God kind of placed into my heart as I was watching the sunset go down. So I'm going to start with, let's go ahead and start with the Deep Navy. I'm going to get myself a little bit of a horizon line. And I do want this horizon line to be somewhat straight. So I am actually going to turn my paper to the side, and I'm just going to pretend, okay, this is my ocean right here. And I'm just doing my best to get a straight line. And that really wasn't very straight. But you know what? That's okay. It's okay. I have to keep reminding myself, this is not a painting to sell or to for anyone else other than me and Jesus, really. Okay, so there's the first stripe of my ocean. I'm going to go ahead and just add white to my plate. And I might just start right in blending and pulling some white right into that. And I love that color. That's so pretty. Wow, it's really beautiful. Okay, I'm going to leave it dark up towards the horizon line as best I can. Oops, I've already screwed up my horizon line. Look at that. All right, so that's when you just go with it, and you're like, it's okay. It's going to be all right. I'm also moving kind of quickly right now because I don't want this to turn into a super long video. I want it to move rather quickly. So you'll see me moving kind of fast here. Okay, let's get a lighter color going on up towards the front here of the ocean. And I'm not gonna worry about making it super realistic. If there's the sense of waves that I want to kind of put in here anywhere, I will just use brush strokes to kind of create those. Just super quick, super quick. And let's pull a little bit more white onto my brush and pull that up. Mixing in a little bit of that blue too. Pull it up even further. And I'm just gonna let that kind of fade up towards the front where my sand's gonna be. In fact, I will probably pull in, I'll leave some of that kind of real faded. And I'm just gonna pull in some light brush strokes here to give a sense of quick little waves, nothing too fancy. Okay, just a quickie. Now for my sky, I might want a little bit of blue somewhere. So while I've got the blue on my brush, I might pull just a little blue in here. And I'll probably cover it over with purple actually. I'm gonna put my sun somewhere right around in there. So I'm just giving my eye kind of an idea of where I'm headed. So I'm just laying in a little loose color here just to kind of help me know where I'm headed. Okay, now I think I will rinse this brush. Okay, let's see. Do I have a paper towel? It's nice to have paper towels on hand so you can wipe the excess water out of the brush. I'm gonna go straight in now to the sand dune color. So I'm putting sand dune down on my plate. Hopefully I don't have too much blue in my brush still. I see I do have some blue. Actually quite a bit of blue. So I better re-rinse that brush. If I don't want to pull a ton of blue into my sand, then definitely want to rinse it better. Okay, hopefully that's gonna help. Okay, now I'm gonna pull this sand dune in and I'm just gonna kind of let it bleed in up here. That's pretty dark. It's pretty, but maybe it's a little too dark to have just straight out of the bottle. So I'm gonna pull in some white and add it in. Boy, I still have blue in my brush. See that? Goodness sakes. But you know what? This is an expressive painting. So maybe I want a little blue in my sand. That is a lot of blue. Oops, I keep dipping into the blue is what's happening there. Okay, let's pull our white in. Okay, that's really blue, but that's okay. Now the beauty of acrylics is once that's dry, I can go in and I can paint over that blue and take that out. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to get a little tiny bit of the purple on my plate. And I'm going to mix it with the white quite a bit. So again, I'm rinsing my brush. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to pull that purple and my white. I'm going to get a light purple. And I'm just going to kind of come right in and pull this in on the sides. And I'm going to be painting over a lot of this purple because obviously the sun will not keep this purple, if that makes sense. So I'll have to paint over it. And I'll probably paint some corals in there. But let's just get that purple in here, just because we're in that mode of not being perfect. Okay, that's where my sun's gonna go. Okay, next I'm gonna pull my coral onto my plate. I'm gonna put it right there. And I'm gonna rinse my brush of that purple best I can here. Dry it off. And we're gonna go into the coral. And I know that the coral is just gonna kind of come right up over here. And some of that coral is gonna come right into this purple. Let's go ahead and paint around our sunball. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna get that little bit of coral right there. And I pulled in some white and it had a bunch of blue on it. So that is really, I'm gonna have to switch. I'm gonna have to switch brushes. Switching gears here. Let's see. I'm gonna use this brush here. Okay, now I'm gonna add right away. I'm gonna add my my sunbeam, and I want to go ahead and I want to get some sun on there so that I know where it's going. So let's get that sun ball. Okay, just kind of mapping it out. I'll come in with a detailed brush later and make it more round. And let's add some yellow in. Okay, so there's just going to be some streaks of yellow coming in certain places here in the sky. And even up here, you know, there could be nice streaks. And we'll mix some of that coral in with the yellow. That's a pretty blend. That coral and yellow together is actually really nice. So I'm going to pull more of that coral and yellow. I'm going to pull it down into the purple. Taking it right up to the sun. And just bringing in a lighter color right around the sun. And I'm just pulling it down towards the water too, a little bit. So I've got to keep dipping in and getting my brush replenished. Okay, so I've still got some purple peeking through. And I'm pulling kind of this more yellow color up into the sky. Let's get a little bit of that flamingo right here. Like the warmth is really just hanging out by that sunball. Okay, let's pull some straight yellow way up in here. And I accidentally got a glob, so I'm just gonna scrape that off with my fingernail. All right, I'm gonna lighten up by adding some white. Okay, let's get some white into this yellow. Just working that in towards the top. Then I'm going to bring some coral back in. Now I need more yellow. I keep running out of yellow. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. Whoops, I chose the wrong color. Let's get the right yellow this time. Okay. So I think Sunbeam, was it Sunbeam? Yeah, Sunbeam was the one. And I'm going to add some white to my plate. Okay, yeah, let's get our white. Okay, so we've got some white, and we've got some coral, and we've got some yellow, and I'm just brushing that in kind of up here at the top, trying to, I don't want the colors to be solid necessarily. So I'm layering, and I'm trying to get whatever color effect is coming into my liking at the moment. So I'm just going to dab some white. I'm going to get a little bit more coral on my brush and a little bit more yellow, and I'm just going to go for it here, kind of blend these together, see what I get. Okay, now what I'm thinking is down here, I actually want this to be brighter and not have that darker tone in it. It's okay if the purple's out here, but I want this coral color to really be right up into that sun. Okay, let's grab some more coral here. And I'm going to pull that coral right down across the water and near the sun. I may have to come back and straighten out my water line again, which is fine. Okay, now I'm going to go back into that yellow and just in a few places lighten that up. Okay, so let's lighten that up just a wee bit. Trying to get just kind of a blendy, streaky sky going here. Okay, and let's pull a little bit of coral up in here. Just the tiniest bit of white too, just to brighten that up a little bit right above that sun. A little bit of the white and a little bit of the yellow. And I don't want it to be too interrupted though. I want my coral in there. I just want, so you can see how I'm just playing. And this is what your art journal is really good for. It's for helping you to experiment and see what kinds of things work and what kinds of things don't work. Okay, I'm going to grab my big round brush. I am going to come back in and I'm going to give my nice yellow ball. And this is pretty much like a picture I took there. And when your camera is looking at the sunset, it does really interesting things to the sun. So what I noticed about the sun is that, yes, it's yellow, but it has like a white dot inside of it. Not white, but a lighter area inside. So I'm really going to kind of pull that white into the center of this sun. And then the other thing that I noticed, I'm going to kind of wipe my brush off. This coral, do I have enough coral left? Is that the yellow and the coral together really kind of almost formed, and that's not light enough, so I've got to pull more yellow in, I think. It almost formed like a little bit of a halo effect. And I'm not sure I'm liking that halo effect, but you get the idea. So I may actually come right in and just brighten that up a little bit and try to blend it. I'm just going to pull it across. So this halo is really quite close though to the sun. Okay, let's see if I can't get in here and get that color more close to what I'm hoping to achieve. Okay. And I'm just basically kind of trying to keep the lighter colors just right around the sun. Okay, now some of this would actually be good to kind of put in the water. Just a little bit. Little touches. Glinting off the water. It's like the sunset would be kind of sparkling on the water. Just a little bit. Okay, now do I want to do anything more with purple? I'm not sure. Let's see if I can take my warm color and see what happens to my purple over here. It's kind of pretty. I may streak in just a little bit. Down kind of closer to the water. And let's just give little tiny wispies. And I'm just going to kind of take some water and thin that out. Just giving thin bits of that purple interjected into here. And I'm even going to take water. I may bring some more coral into that one. That was too much yellow. I mean purple. Too much purple. And so just kind of pulling in some lighter colors here and there, like the sky would be a little bit streaky. Okay, now that ball is really yellow. So I'm actually thinking I'm going to put a tiny bit more coral onto my plate. And I might mix it while it's still wet. Just a little tiny bit of that warm color. Okay, I'm going to wipe my brush off now and just use the wet yellow that's already on the sun, and just I'm warming that yellow up with that coral color. I think I am going to add just a touch more coral. So just touch more coral, warming that sun ball up. Okay, let's pull that all the way in. There, it's a little more warm. It's not so bright as it was, but it's still really nice. So now I'm trying to take a little bit of white and a little bit of yellow and pull that back into the center of the sun. Okay, and then I've got that nice bright color on my brush, so I'm just tipping it in a few spots. On the tops of these waves, like it's catching on top of the waves. Not in every single wave, just on a few. Okay, so there's that. And you know, I actually kind of like that blue down there in my sand. I think that's actually kind of neat. And because this is really expressive and loose, I think I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it just the way it is. And then when it's completely dry, I have these wonderful acrylic paint markers by Art Owl. And I'm gonna pick a color that I think works best. It could be this gold color, or it could be white, it could be black even. Just take a black pen, and I might write something over to the side like, glory to God in the highest. Holy, holy, holy. Just something to remind me of what this sunset inspired in me. But I'm going to let that go ahead and dry just the way it is, and I'll decide what I want to add later. This video's gone long enough. Thank you very much for watching. If you have painted along, I'd love to see what you came up with. And if you have your own painting that's inspiring you today, I'd love to see what that is. Feel free to take a picture of it and upload it into the comments. And thank you very much for watching. This is Sherry Joy Collier signing off for now. Take care.